Today, we'll be talking about an industry and a business model that is not Etsy print on demand, but is adjacent and is increasingly popular to help kickstart brands, which is called white labeling. So, what is white labeling? Essentially put, it's a business model where a company produces or makes a product and then another company slaps their own branding on it and sells that product as their own. This is very similar to print on demand, where somebody else is printing the product, but you are the one doing all of the sales and your branding and building out more of that need and that marketing essence for the company to then go on and tweak and edit more of like an end product. So white labeling is very similar to that, where you have these larger manufacturers or these larger companies that are producing a bulk product that then another company can come on and add their branding to. There are a plethora of large examples of companies that are doing this. I think the most common and relatable one is when you go to Walmart or you go to Target and there is the brand name, but then right next to it you might have Walmart's brand or Great Value that are throwing their brand on a very similar product. Kirkland a lot of times is produced at the same manufacturer as the other product, and maybe they need to have a slight ingredient difference or something like that. But the main thing is Costco as a company isn't going through, they don't have a sauce warehouse where they're making everything. They work with these manufacturers that they can then put their branding on, and a lot of times it can be sold cheaper because a lot of times, sorry to break it to you, you're paying for the branding, not the actual product. So white labeling across e-commerce has become so much more popular now because you have all of these individuals, whether they're content creators or just entrepreneurs, that can see a space and can see a niche, be really crafty about marketing and branding, and build a brand that just is slapped on to a base product, great product, but still not something that they're manufacturing and tinkering with all the time, to then launch an incredible brand. And I think the one thing I want to highlight with this is I shared an example recently about how Native Deodorant started their brand in the early stages with white labeling. And I think that is where this business model can really come to the forefront. Is you're probably not going to grow to a $100 million exit brand like Native with a white labeled product that entire time. However, where I think white labeling has a really great foothold into launching a business and building a brand is proving product market fit and proving that your branding has legs. If you can spend the early stages of your company, obviously making sure that your product is good and a strong fit for your customers, but additionally, spending time making sure that you have the audience and you have all that dialed in. Another reason why this is a really popular business model for starting a company is it allows you, as I mentioned, to focus on the marketing and the customer service side of things. You don't have to do as much with the distribution and the supply chain. So you can just come in and make sure that customers have a phenomenal experience, like finding you, building that community, and if there are issues, you can dedicate more resources to that customer service and learning what people like and dislike about your brand before having to spend all of that money on manufacturing. And one thing that I think is interesting and is a trend right now is I think this was isolated to certain industries when it really started getting popular. And it's really expanded past that to the point of it's kind of intersecting print on demand. Imagine you are a skincare influencer and you want to test launching your own brand. You can find products like this, add on your own branding, sell them in your storefront, and you automatically have a skincare brand. Obviously, the long-term goal might not be to utilize and sell these exact same products for the rest of your life, but it could be a really good idea and a good option to say, hey, I'm gonna test this, test how I can build my brand with moving from just doing content to like a physical good, and see if this resonates with my audience before then going and launching your own formulas and everything like that. You can also see a lot of this with fitness supplements. Most of the fitness supplements that you're getting are white label goods that other folks have then taken and said, hey, I'm gonna add my own branding onto this. And a lot of that's because ingredients are going to be the similar across the board, and there's potentially some innovators out there, but not every single product that we're having is going to be groundbreaking. A couple of the areas that I would recommend you look into if you are interested in learning more about white labeling is going to be Printify. They've recently launched products like coffee. They have different elements of coffee that you can literally add your own branding to. So if you are a local coffee shop, you can absolutely go on to Printify and explore these options. Printify is free to set up. One thing to note about the coffee is these are not things that you are allowed to sell through like Etsy or whatnot, but it would be more for you to be selling through your own website or be selling in store as an easy like value add or like fun holiday drop. That could be an option. Another great thing that's on Printify right now that is new is skincare. They've launched multiple different skincare products, including like a vitamin C serum and a snail mucin serum that are white labeled for you to add your own branding on. That could be a really great way to, again, launch something fun, test how physical goods would sell to your audience without having to do a ridiculous amount of R&D to get a product like that off the ground. Also, 0 minimum order quantity, so you don't have to buy these bulk shipments. You can test that, understand if there's a fit, and then potentially launch if that makes sense for you. Another really interesting space that's heating up right now is going to be the supplement and nutrition space. There's a company called Supplyful where you can go on there and take a look at all of their white label supplements. Everything is FDA approved, and test to see if this is a space that you want to get into. If you are a fitness influencer, or again, you want to be kind of launching your own branding in this space, and you think that there's a niche of branding, could be an incredible place to start looking in case you want to expand there. If you're wanting to launch your own brand and get that product market fit, could be a really, really successful way to do that. And we've seen successes in the past with this exact same business model. So hopefully this was helpful in just learning a little bit more about white labeling. Like and subscribe for more content about building brands, print on demand, and business in general.